Hi, hello, it's Pip here. Welcome to your Blends Club for May 2020. I can't believe we're a year into our Blends Club now, so we've done a whole year of playing with these gorgeous alcohol markers. And we should have more to come. I'm just trying to work out how we're going to work it with just having the blends available next month in packs of 2 of the same colour. So I'm just working that out at the moment, but I know you guys all want to continue, so we will do so. These are the 2 cards we're making today, both of which use Floral Essence as their base stamped images. Okay, and then this one. So we're using quite a lot of different colours mixed together for these, just to see how that goes. So in your set you will have received one Whisper White card base, a Bermuda base layer, a piece of Whisper White layer, second piece of Whisper White, and a bit of small piece of So Saffron. And then in your other envelope you will have received your So Saffron card base. You will have received a rich raspberry piece. Yours will have been embossed, so I've embossed all of yours with the floral embossing folder. That's the new embossing folder that's in the Ornate Garden Suite, so it's this one, with all the gorgeous little flowers all over it. So yours will be embossed with that. I'm going to show you how it looks plain so you can see why I embossed it, because it looks much better embossed. But yeah, so yours will be embossed. And then you've got a long strip of Whisper White cardstock that goes top to bottom, a separate piece of Whisper White cardstock, and a strip. Okay, these 2 are for stamping on. This one is for stamping on, but you need to be careful. This is the piece that's going to form the back layer here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to stamp it, how to cut it and colour it in. These are your additional pieces, this one and the wording. I sound really croaky today, I don't know why. I will try and improve my voice for you, apologies for that. You'll also have some gold thread, this metallic thread, okay, which I've got on a reel but you've got wrapped around in your card. Okay, so be careful when you open that, because that might spring out and surprise you. Alrighty, so let's start with this one first of all. So this one we're using the large image, and we're going to stamp that separately onto a piece of Whisper White cardstock in Memento. Okay, now I've given you enough that you can do 2 if you want to, and if you want to change it up or whatever. So you should have enough to do that, because I think I put both the same sizes in your packs. It could be different, don't sue me if it is. Okay, so that's your stamped image to start off with, and we're going to go in and colour that one quite firmly because these are bold colours. Okay, so this one I did the rich raspberry around the outside and the Bermuda Bay on the inside. I'm going to play with doing it the other way around, so you need to start with your inside colour and you're going to work one flower at a time. Okay, now this we might need to put some paper down actually, because it's going to go through. Let's just get a small piece of this grid paper and we'll pop that underneath. Hopefully it won't be too zizzy on your eyes. Let's cover up as much of that as we can so it's not too zizzy. Okay, so we've gone in and we've done our bottom pieces and just our just basically following all those bits that stick up and then going straight in with the Bermuda Bay over the top, sort of not over the top at this point, just sort of around the edges. Go back in with your thinner end, and this time you can start to blend those 2 colours together. We don't want any white showing. Okay, and we can start to blend those, leaving enough rich raspberry that you can see the rich raspberry, but sort of just blending it together. So again, this one coming in, and these are sort of strange things really, these bits. Flowers do have these elements that sort of come out and into the centre of the flower. So it's, you know, it's perfectly normal. And they do, like pansies for example, have incredibly different colours with bright yellows and purples. So I just thought, well, we've got some quite different colours this time because we're trying to make up your full set of pairs before we go into the new catalogue. So I thought, well, why don't we just try and do some really dynamic and different colouring. Okay, so then you'll do that all the way around, and then you're going to take the middle with your So Saffron. Okay. There we go. And then, let's see, that seems a bit light. There we go, add a bit extra shading. And then take your soft suede and just dot the centre. And because you're doing it straight away, they'll start to sort of merge and spread out a little bit, which is nice. It sort of softens the look of it. And eventually, once you've done all the petals, I'm not going to bore you, you end up looking like this, because you all know how to colour in by now. The only bit that I wanted to show you extra that I did was this flicking motion. So once your petals are sort of dryish, you're going to go in with your brush tip end and just flick up from the bottom. So quite gently, you can get quite thin lines if you're very, it's almost not touching the cardstock, and you just get these really delicate sort of flicks. Okay, and then if you look at these, see how they just flick up into the, and it just makes it a little bit more lifelike, really. I think it just adds that extra bit of texture. But do them after they're dry, and then they don't bleed and they'll stay nice and sort of flicky. So give that a try once you've done that. Then we're going to just cut this out, and it doesn't take long, but I will speed up this video for you because you don't want to just sit and watch me cut out. There we go. And if we've got anything, if you've got any white bits, so like see here, I've got a few white bits, I've not quite gone to the black line, just add in, just use your brush end of your Bermuda Bay, or if you've done it the same as this, it'll be your rich raspberry. It's up to you, you can do whichever you fancy. Just to go flick around those edges and just make sure that there's no white showing, because there's nothing that detracts more than having just that tiny little white edge if you don't, you know, if you're trying to colour right to the edge of something. So that's kind of a cheat, but it works. Looks good. Okay, so then to complete this card, you're simply going to do a little bit of stamping. Now for this one, I did the same colour. I think I'm going to do the opposite colour, so I'm going to use Rich Raspberry and go in. So basically I'm just going to copy that base and just have a different colour flower on top. So Rich Raspberry, we'll do one up there, one sort of coming out here, and one coming up here. There we go. And then I used the Bermuda Bay as my leaf colour, so I worked out roughly where that's going to sit there. Oh yeah, that looks good, doesn't it? And then just added in some leaves coming out here. I think I went a bit overboard with my leaves on the other one, so I'm going to go slightly less with this one. See how that looks. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. And then just obviously to finish, you want to match that central So Saffron piece. So we're going to use the So Saffron, this little sort of fan shaped piece that goes so nicely in the centre of all these flowers. Oops, she says missing a bit. There we go. And then this one down here. Excellent. So that's really quick and easy to do. Obviously the colouring is what's taking the time on this card, which is as it should be. Just going to wipe that off. There we go. Before we do this again. Okay, there we go. Glue this into place. Really very simple card, but very punchy, I think, with the colouring. Very vibrant colours, these Bermuda Bay and Rich Raspberry together. Makes a really nice contrast. And the So Saffron just sort of tones it down just a little bit, so it's not too sort of like way in your face. Bit of glue. There we go. Pop that on there. Nice. Now obviously nothing would be complete without a little sentiment, and then we need to put that up on dimensionals as well. So dimensional. See how much it's come through, because we use a lot of ink on this one. You know, we really give it a good old welly. It blends beautifully, even though it's two completely different colours. And then just adding that little flick technique really does sort of bring it to life. I kind of like it that way up, I think. That will match with everything. There we go. And then we will put this sentiment up here. So that one I did with Sent with Love, which is nice, from the Itty Bitty Greetings. This one is also from Itty Bitty Greetings, and this is just a little hello. This time I'm going to do it in Bermuda Bay. So I'm kind of matching the main flower in each case. Nice. Classic label punch. So this is the only thing that I didn't obviously punch your classic label punch, because you need to be able to see where you're stamping, and your sentiment might not be this small. So there we go. And then chop it off, sort of here-ish. There we go. And then I flat laid that to the card. You could put it up on dimensionals if you wanted, but I just thought it looked quite nice just flat. So that's going in there just like that. Okay, a little hello and a Sent with Love. So there you go, that's the first of our cards done for today in our Blends Club. Move those out the way. Now the next one we're going to do is also very simple, but uses a technique called half cutting, which is kind of obvious when you think about it. You sort of partial cutting. So you can do this. Some people do this with dies, but this time I'm doing it with stamps because I just want to show you how you can do it really easily with what you have to hand. So this is the, don't get it on your fingers, Pip. So this is this sort of weird triangle 3-petal thing that is in the Floral Essence stamp set, and it looks a bit odd, but actually it is it is a flower when you do one and then you turn and do another. Just want to make sure that your petals are sort of lining up. And then see, it becomes a nice 6-petaled flower. So it's a lovely, lovely flower, really. It just looks a bit odd when you first get it. Okay, so these have got to come out this way, like so. I think I've done this a bit low. I would do yours a little higher if I were you. Just a little higher. Never mind, we should make it. Should just make it that way. Yeah, there we go. Like that. There we go. So that's your base bit. I have done this a little low, but never mind, it won't matter, it'll be fine. And then you're going to do another one, okay, just on a separate piece of card. Okay, like so. There we go, like that. Right, and then these were just colouring in really simply. So we'll put that to one side for a minute. I just coloured the whole of the petals rather in with the So Saffron large sweeping motions. Okay, just to lay that colour down. Okay, wasn't worried about shading or anything like that at this point. Just want to lay the colour down, which sort of goes against everything we've done before, which is to just put, you know, only work on one petal at a time, etc. But the reason why I wasn't too bothered is because we're just going to fill in these little swatches, these little sticky out bits with another colour, and then we're going to go back over it again. So there's not much really colouring here to do, just a little bit of filling in, and then you can always use that flicky motion again. I'll just do this one here because it's tricky. These are really tiny pieces, so sometimes it is easier to use the brush tip on the really small bits, you see. So just get into the bottom pieces and those thicker bits, and then come back in just with that fine brush, almost like you're flicking again, to just fill up those tinier spaces. But be careful, because it can easily just be a little bit too much. So very gently. So this is teaching control of your brush end, okay, because previously we've not really done much with controlling the brush end. But this whole piece with the flicking and now this colouring in of the tiniest shapes is all about control, and it takes practice, okay? So don't panic if it doesn't work the first time. You'll do more and it'll be fine. And even if it just goes a little over, don't panic. You just don't want massive splodges on this, because it's a delicate flower. Even with the big thick black lines and the big thick black centre, it's still, I think, quite delicate. There we go. This is so therapeutic doing this, because you have to really concentrate. There we go. Okay, then you do the same for the top one. But what I'm showing you next is how you then get that to look like that. Okay, so you're going to need your trimmer, and you're going to trim off at, let's see, what did I do here if I can remember rightly? Yeah, 1 centimetre at each side. I think that's what I did anyway. How wide is this? This is 7, and this ends up being 5. Yeah, that's right. So I just have a mental block then. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this into the trimmer at 1 centimetre. Take your blade and cut up to the first petal of the flower that you've done. Lift it over the top, bring it down to just to where that petal is, but don't cut through the petal, see? So you cut down there, cut up there, and then turn it round to 1 centimetre and do the same on the other side. So cut down to the petal, lift, bring back up through the top. There we go. you just fussy cut out those petals. So it means you have to cut less, which is great. So you just cut these like so, and then this like so, and then this bit just drops off like so. Now if you've got a piece that you think actually like if this had been a cross, you might have to cut a middle piece out as well, but this is pretty much on that line, so I think we're going to be okay if we cut that. If it had been a bit further across, we might have had to cut something out in the centre of the flower, sort of like if those two leaves had been a bit further, we might have needed to cut down this line like that, but we don't, so that's cool. And I think I've got away with it on this side as well, so that's fab. It just depends on how you place your flowers as to whether there is a white space in the middle of two petals that aligns with that cut line. This is literally just on the cut line, so I think we're okay. Because otherwise you're cutting in past that cut line and then that doesn't look so good. Right, there we go. Isn't that cute? Clever, isn't it? So now we can just attach that to our base very simply. It looks really complicated, but actually it's really easy. There we go. So you're going to put that down so it's got enough of the flower showing. Obviously yours is going to go onto the embossed piece, mine isn't embossed. Pop that down onto the base, which is why I embossed yours, because I didn't think this looked as good. It looked better embossed. Down on there. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Then this one we're going to colour exactly the same. So, but we're going to use the Bermuda Bay rather than the other one, whichever one that one was. Okay. I've done myself a separate piece of this. Yeah, I had. Look, see? I'd done this one as a, here's one I did earlier. And then I forgot to show it to you. Never mind. I forgot to use it, but that's okay. I can use it again. I didn't do that colouring as well as I did that colouring, so that's fine. There we go. I'm sure I'd done some of this beforehand to make it quicker, but obviously it was the other stuff. Now this one I'm going to make slightly darker, because I want it to show up just a little bit more from those when it's attached on top of them. And we are going to have to fussy cut this one out. And I haven't stamped this one as well as I stamped the others, because now I've got gaps showing between the petals, so just be careful of that. It looks a bit cockeyed, this one, but never mind, we'll see how it looks when it's on. And then just again, but this time in the Bermuda Bay, flicking up those. I just love the colour combinations of these. Actually, it was quite by accident that we got these, because it was just the pens that we had left over, really. But I think it was fortuitous. There we go. And again, I'm going to speed this up so you don't have to see me fussy cutting. Okay, so that's now been cut. So now I'm going to show you how you use your gold thread. So I gave you a piece that was sort of wrapped around a few times like this and chopped off in your packet. So this is in your envelope. Hopefully you've managed to find it without losing it everywhere. And so this, what I did was I sort of placed it down here-ish somewhere, like so. I put dimensionals on the back of just one dimensional, big one, on the back of this, and I made sure that when I put it down I collared the gold thread underneath it. So this one I want to go offset sort of like that. So I just attach the gold thread with that dimensional. Now you can obviously just do a glue dot under there if you prefer, and then add your dimensional afterwards. But yeah, that's the gold thread. And if you've got like straggly bits like this, just chop it off. There we go. and you can sort of pull them and make them a bit more however you fancy once it's on. Okay, so that's that. And then for the sentiment, again, I'm going to do it in Bermuda Bay, but I've chosen a different one this time. This one I've chosen the words "wishing you a blissful," and we're going to do that. It says future, but I don't want future, I want birthday. So I'm just going to stamp birthday up here. Oh dear, that didn't go very well. Turn that over, stamp birthday up here. There we go. That's better. And then we're going to do like a double cutout. So this one I can cut straight up here because you don't want future. So this time we're going to get "wishing you a blissful birthday," which is nice because everybody wants a blissful birthday. So we just cut up the L like so, and then we've got blissful all on its own. There we go. And this sort of wiggly cutting means that you can't really go wrong. Like so. Okay, and then for the birthday, because it's a flat birthday, we're just going to cut this one straight. Down there, down there, down there, and down there. And this one is from Itty Bitty Birthdays, so it's a nice simple, but everyone will have a birthday, I'm sure. So it just doesn't have to be the same font. That's the thing. You can make it up with different things and it looks great. I'm going to put this flat lay this time. I did do it up on dimensionals last time, but we're going to flatten it out. Tuck it behind here. Wishing you a blissful, just because I think it sits better with the when it's non-embossed, if it's flat lay. And then we'll pop this one now. Are these going to fit on here? Oh, they might be a bit tight. Let's have a look. Just. Okay, phew. It's always difficult when you chop up words because you don't know if they're actually going to fit then with the minis, but generally they do, I have to say. I think they're very clever in their designing. Most of their wording will fit with either the big or the little mini dimensionals. Okay, oops, get it up the right way round. And then we'll just pop that under there like that. Bring it over a bit. Like so. So I just wanted to show you how the sentiments could be expanded to include birthdays if you wanted them to. So there we go. There are our 4 cards. Okay, 2 originals. You can decide which way round you want to do them. So this was Rich Raspberry at the bottom, Bermuda Bay at top. This is the other way round. This is these 2 the other way round. Different sentiments, different layouts, different sort of ways of doing it, but they all look great, I think. Let's put them this way, it's probably easier. They all look good. So you choose which way round you want to do yours. And then that concludes our year, our first year of Blends. Whoops, of Blends Club. I'm not, as I say, I'm having to work out what we're going to do next time because we have only got a limited number of new blends coming out. I think we've probably got about 6 sets that you don't have yet, 6 combos. So that's about 3 months worth. It's not another year. But if we intersperse it with a stamp set and then using the blends that you probably already have in our sort of monthly sessions, then I think that would kind of work as well. So I'm going to try that. Okay, so there you go. Pop your finished results up into Crafty Corner. I love seeing them and so does everybody else. And thank you very, very much for being a part of my first year of Blends Club. And I will see you again soon. Cheers. Bye.